I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Big Detecting Show. From a now dry Cheshire, where it's been absolutely persisting it down all day long, where you've not even been able to leave the house, but at least we haven't had thunder. Hope you're all well this week and have been able to get out and about and do your thing. Sadly, I haven't because of homeschooling, a wife at work. But hey, we'll get there. In fact, we won't probably get there because I'm being unfurloughed from Monday. So there you go. Good evening, Nick West. Yes, indeed. Sad news today about the death of Dame Vera Lynn. It's very, very sad indeed. So without further ado and moving on. The first bit, I've got a bit of news. This is relating to metal detecting digs in groups, and this comes from the Department of Culture, Media and Sport. They have been communicated with again and reiterated that group digs are still illegal if there are for more than 6 people. They explain they are classed as events like music festivals, country shows, etc. It is irrelevant if the organiser is a business or not. Detecting COVID-19 rules for digs will therefore only change alongside other activities classed as events, and they are going to be communicated with more so in the near future to find out more information and obviously keep an eye on what happens there, and the National Council for Metal Detecting feed, who will let everybody in the country know as soon as rules change, because they are in communication with the relevant officialdoms on a daily basis. So I'll briefly look at the chat room. Hello again, as I said, to Nick West, Stevie Boneheed Charlton, Bob Hope, not the Bob Hope, well, it is the Bob Hope, Detector Network. Good evening, Scott Holden, our guest from last week, and if you haven't already signed up to Detector Network, please do so. I will ask him now when the app will be out, if he has any idea yet, and he will mention that in a moment. Good evening to Steve Pettican, Divi Detectorists, Sherry Rask, and that's it for now. So I'm going to begin by sharing the screen, and we'll have a look at what's going on. So sharing the screen. Now, first and foremost, please remember that if you go over to the Big Detected TV Show Facebook group, you will find lots and lots and lots of updated newsworthy things, but the main thing this week from the world of treasure is this. We mentioned last week that Mr. Forrest Fenn's treasure had been found. Now, this photograph and the other 2 photographs allegedly indicate him going through the box at this point in the last week. So there is the treasure, or is it? I mean, a lot of people could say, well, has it been buried in the first place? He sold a lot of books. He got a lot of stardom to a degree. He's made a lot out of it. Has this box been buried? And if it has, who found it? Because again, nobody's come forward and said they found it. It's just Forrest Fenn's information. So there's that. A little look inside the box shows you lots of gold coins and gold nuggets and bits and bobs of twig, which is nice. And a bracelet as well. So that's on the website, along with lots and lots of other new articles. along with my review of week 2 of the Dig Ventures course, which is a free archaeology course, which we've mentioned for the past couple of weeks. If you pop on there, you'll see a review of the week 2, but you'll also get lots of information about how to actually sign up for this course yourself, which I and Tony Kaywood and Adrian Gaylor in the comments at some point will say they totally agree because they're doing it too. So pop along there and you'll be able to get access to the Dig Ventures free course. There is the Detector Network launch information, telling you all about the social media app, which we just mentioned that we had Scott holding on last week. We've also new articles assessing the variability in later medieval unfortified elite residences by Alison Smith, who is an archaeologist with a BA in Honours. Look at all these wonderful photographs of medieval places. Look at all that ground around them that I want to go and metal detect. We also have one that Luke's put up about the mound builders, North America's little-known native architects. What is pareidolia and simulacra? And the reason he put that is because there's so many people putting photographs of like the monkey tree, the Virgin Mary, there's some of them. But we were more interested in nature's shapes, clouds. That's a shark upside down and it looks like a demonic face. Mars, plastic bottle, etc., etc. So that's all on there, as well as the pentagram, stigmata, and who built the Great Pyramid. So there's some articles that we've put on this last week. Stop my sharing. So here we go. So anyway, tonight's guest. Oh, hello, my auntie's here. Hello, Auntie J. You well? Tonight's guest is Mr. Scotty B from North of Tyne Metal Detecting Group on Facebook, and one of the organisers of Detectorcon, and we're going to be talking with him now about all and sundry. Good evening, Scotty. How are we?
Good evening, Dave, and everyone else out there.
Now, my first question, Scotty, have you got your booster seat on?
I haven't, but I'm frozen on this side.
You're all right here, mate. You're fine and dandy. You look a bit bewildered, but you're fine and dandy here, mate. Don't worry whatsoever. Right. We'll blame your Wi-Fi for that. Scott,
that's talk for you.
It's I've also Luke, I haven't told you, Scott, Luke's actually pulled a video up from Detectival last year, which we're going to be playing after 9 o'clock as well.
Oh, cool.
He's not really.
I've got to make sure you don't post that video, right?
So can you, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to people who don't know you, haven't come across you before, and, all about what you do?
Well, I'm Scotty B, and I'm from the northeast of Newcastle. And obviously I hold a club club/group called North of the Tyne Detecting. We've been running from 2018, and it just started off with myself and a couple of other friends. Got a permission, and then obviously that permission went big, and there was too much land for us to detect it ourselves. So we decided to get people to come along, pay a small fee for the farmer, and it keeps everyone happy. And from there, it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're now recognised as one of the biggest groups in the northeast, and we're well respected through in the farm community. Stick by the rules, stick by the books. We do everything legal, insurances and all that. So we do everything real and proper.
And you've had quite a bit of success within the group, which we will obviously talk about a little bit later. But first and foremost, Detectorcon. Now, Detectorcon was supposed to be taking part for the first time this year in July. Sadly, The world has happened, and unfortunately, you've got some news on it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we've obviously had to cancel Detectorcon this year due to the COVID-19 and obviously the rules and regulations out there by the government standards. Yes, you can have small group digs up to 6 people, but with the regulation of sports and culture, yes, we can't hold digs because it's classed as an event, a big event, i.e. it's classed as like if it was a music event or an big outdoor rave or something like that. We're not allowed to do it. But people are saying that we're not allowed. Why are golfers are playing? Why is a fisherman out? Yeah, because they are run as a business. We're not a business. We're just in it for a hobby. And yes, we're like getting a gathering together. That's why the government are not allowed big mass gatherings, because simple fact is, if there's that many people, it's not a fact of catching COVID. It's a fact of that many people catching it, going into the hospitals and overwhelming the hospitals cannot cope.
Totally understandable, and you reiterated exactly what I said at the start, which was some information that was passed on to me today. So sadly, it's not going on. You have rescheduled.
Yep, and all who have bought tickets for Detectorcon for this year, they would have all received an email a couple of weeks ago stating what we are going to do about Detectorcon obviously being cancelled. The people who have got tickets, then tickets are valid for next year. But if they do cancel the tickets and they do get a refund, then your ticket goes back on sale. And if you do want it in a later date, don't be disappointed, because there's a chance that you're not going to get it, because they're still selling out now. There's people buying tickets for next year. And for those who do keep the ticket, this is a good one. You have got until the original date of Detectorcon, which was meant to be happening this year. If you don't ask for a refund by then your ticket will go into a prize draw for next year, which you would, if the winner will receive a 24-carat gold coin.
Marvellous. That's a fantastic little gesture, Scotty. Fair play.
And obviously the draw of that gold coin for the tickets will be on the Detectorcon, which is July the 23rd to the 25th of 2021.
Fantastic. Well done. Nice gesture, and obviously, it'll keep Detectorcon in the public mind as well. I hope that's non-alcoholic that you're drinking there.
It's blackcurrant juice.
Good evening in the viewers tonight. I see Jules and Lisa are there, and Mr. Tyrrell from LP is also in the room. So Cy Webber as well. He says, "Hi, Scotty." Evening to
Hello.
Pixel K-Wood as well. Pixelated K-Wood. Get it right. So tell me a little bit more about North of Tyne Metal Detecting. You formed, as you say, in 2018. You started off with, I think, ourselves, me and Luke, you contacted us to join the group very in the early stages of that being formed. And obviously that's gone from strength to strength. And you're now, how many members in that about now?
It's a private group, and it's always been private. Nobody is allowed in the group if I think the profile doesn't look correct or anything. Obviously they get removed. We're a lovely group. We take care of each other. If there's any disheartened comments or any racial comments or anything like that, is basically the comment gets removed and you just get barred from the group. We have 1,800 members roundabouts.
So it's a big group as a private group, and I take it a high percentage of them people as well have been involved in North of Tyne detecting digs.
Yeah, like I see, we have regular digs. Obviously, not at the moment with COVID-19, but we do have regular digs at least once a week, sometimes once every fortnight. We'll go out, and the minimum number we usually get on our digs at a time is about 60 to 70 members at a time on the digs. Obviously, we have the land to hold them digs on, and North of Tyne is well known as well, is that we don't go back to the same land. So if there's farms big, we'll open that field, and that's the only time that field will be open, unless the next time we go back up, if they want to do that field, then they're more than welcome to do that field. But we don't hold regular digs on the same land. It's always different land.
Fantastic. And there's a fair bit of countryside and history up there as well. I think I drove back from Scotland once, totally wrong way. Came via the east coast instead of coming straight down the M6. And you've got Vindelander and everything in Northumberland, aren't you?
Yeah, well, basically, the land we have, well, I've got a lot of land for the good to have good digs once we can. But at Bellingham, where Detectorcon's going to be held, it's literally not far from the borders. And obviously, you had all the border raids from Scotland, and it's not far from the Roman Wall, which is Hadrian's Wall. Obviously, there's big Roman settlements up that way, and the history up there is phenomenal. We're really lucky to get the land we've got as well, because it's classed. It's in Northumberland National Park as well, and it's really hard to get permissions to dig in national parks.
And I know you spoke to me at length as well about the land at Detectorcon, and we're not going to give too much away, but the land that Detectorcon is going to be on is potentially fantastic too. Yeah, well,
Detectorcon, we've got around about 900 acres of undetected land. Obviously, it's in a rich area in Bellingham. It's not far from Bellingham town centre itself. Like I say, obviously, it was meant to be getting detected this year, but obviously it's not getting detected now, so that's off limits. There's no detecting going to be held on there, no small group digs, nothing. It's still going to be the way it is, but it's going to be open for next year. And obviously in the Detectorcon, on the land, there's an old castle, there's an old Roman farmstead. What else is there? Castle is old Roman farmstead.
Is there some form of small tower, wasn't there, as well?
Yeah, there's an old basel as well, which
that's the word.
Yeah, a basel is basically a medieval fortified farmhouse.
Right, sorry, I thought it was a tower.
And in that area, there's other basels, which basically I've marked them up on a map, and they're basically all in a straight line.
Yeah. And I take it during Detectorcon next year, you're going to be not drinking any alcohol because of the importance of running the event as well.
Well, I can't say I would, but I'll only have a couple.
Over in the chat room, Aaron Weedle, good evening. I will look forward to wearing a South Coast detecting hat, my friend. I certainly will. So we've worked with you now, as I've said, for a while, way back to 2018, and I'm going to share the screen. Luke, if I can share the screen, if I can find the right button, there it is. And we're going to have a look at an article that we published in one of the detectable editions of the free printed magazine last year. And it was that of a Roman horde. So, obviously, it's a lot of luck. Tell us about this.
Oh, geez, really want to know. Well, basically, we were a brand new group, just started out. Obviously, I knew some rules and regulations about having digs and what permissions you need and etc. etc. And this horde we're going to be talking about was the second ever dig we ever held. And obviously, the lad who found the horde, him and his dad, obviously his dad's found hordes before, but obviously they're from Scotland, so the way they basically take things out of the ground, our obviously LFO and their treasure trove the rules are slightly different. And obviously I was dealing with some other member on a different field, and obviously I just saw this. People are saying it's a JCB, but it's not. It was a cat just driving across the field, and I was thinking, what the hell's going on here? So obviously I ran across, and obviously as I got there, the farmer's digging up, and I was like, whoa, stop. But I was like, what's going on? And obviously they explained that they found possibly a Roman coin hoard. And obviously I got straight onto the phone. It was a Sunday afternoon. Obviously everywhere was shut. I got on the phone, couldn't get through to nobody, and then eventually got through to London British Museum, and I was speaking to a member of staff there, and they basically were just saying, right, obviously it's been a public event, you've had a dig, it won't be safe, just make sure you're just taking little bits off it, a little bit, like little inches off at a time, take photographs, etc., etc., which we've done that. It just says if you come to any kind of wooden objects or any other long bits of metal, or if you think that if the ground changes colour, anything like that, just stop immediately. Obviously they were digging away. They didn't come across nothing like that. Basically it was just like a scatter hoard of silver denariuses. There was some bronze coins in there. There was silver Roman jewellery and other bits and bobs. And it was a total new experience for me, and obviously other members of the group. And obviously, since we found that hoard, obviously I went and got more advice off the local LFO, etc., and basically took in the good pointers. And then now, if I've got a hoard, then we know exactly what to do with it now. So,
Tell me about these long silver pieces here, Scotty. What do they turn out to be?
if you showed the screen, I'll have to go on to me. Yeah, them there is a Roman necklace.
Right.
Obviously, if you put that picture back up.
That one?
No, the ones with the silver pieces in.
Sorry. That one there, yeah.
See if it comes back up.
Right, okay. So currently we're looking at the necklace part, I believe, the long silver pieces we're looking at currently.
Yeah. Well, the 4 long silver pieces is obviously the chain. You've got 2 smaller objects to the left-hand side. Them were part of a pot as such. That's what they think it could have been. And obviously you've got the other bit on the right-hand side, the little small right bit at the top. That is a bronze kind of, looked like to be like a I don't know, a dog's head or something like that, which would have sat on the necklace.
Right.
But obviously, what you see in the picture, if the coins, there was a lot more than that, but that's all the pictures we've got.
How many coins were there, do you remember?
I can't precisely say. Obviously, I do know, but it's not my thing to say. It's up to the finder if he wanted to say, you know.
Right. In the article that we've got, there's 4 long section of silver braided chain, 2 short section of silver chain, 16 bronze sestertius, 2 silver necklace finials, 1 unidentified bronze object, 2 silver clips, and 14 silver denarius. Yeah,
there was a few more than that.
Right. Beautiful nonetheless. It's an absolutely stunning one there, right in the middle. Lovely.
Yeah, but it was a good day and a good experience as well.
Yeah, and a learning experience as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I say, after that hoard come up, obviously I went and got professional help. Obviously from I done an archaeologist class and stuff as well. I went on archaeologist digs and took pointers from them. And so if it ever happened again, then I would sort of know the minimum what to do.
Yeah. In the chat room, Scotty. Yeah. Well, you can see it along the bottom now. This is Jules via Lisa's account.
It's frozen on my side on my phone, so
I'm going to tell you.
All right.
This is Jules via Lisa's account, I believe. Hi, Scotty. Keep up the great work. A fantastic group with great members, truly dedicated to our fantastic hobby. Hope you see you all later this year, bud. All the very best, Jules. So it was off, Jules.
All right. Also, I would just like to mention as well about Detectorcon. I was going to mention it before. We've got Julian Evan Hart from the Treasure Hunt magazine. He's going to be with official photographer of the event. So if anybody would like any pictures took when they're out metal detecting, or if they want any finds photographed, just go over and see Jules. He'll have it, obviously, a tag on. He's usually got his hat on, and obviously he'll have a camera around his neck. If they want any pictures took or anything, just go and give him a shout, and he'd be happy to take pictures of you.
And if not, he'll be sat in a tent drinking beer.
He'll have a pint of beer in one hand and his electric cigarette in the other.
And I'll be sat next to him with a pint of beer too. Because it's long deserved. Steve from the Northwest says, nice hoard. What a great save. Dirt Diggers UK, Scotty B the legend. What else we've got going on in here? Good evening to Adrian Gaylor, MS Detectorist. Stu McNeil says a great group of lads, and that's about it in the chat room for now. I haven't seen Sky in there for a few weeks. Sky, come on back.
Oh, is that the young girl who found them bits and bobs and put them in a frame?
Yeah, fantastic. I'm sure she's
fantastic
chomping to get out and about at the moment too. So, what other finds of consequence have been made on North of Tyne's group digs?
Oh, there's been a few. We've had obviously we had a dig up in Scotland just not long before lockdown. and there was some gold coins found, which were just sovereigns and half sovereigns. There was a few hammered coins found. I found the best hammered coin, which was David II full groat, which is a beauty. Obviously, my other partner, Andrew, who helps us out with the group, he found a gold brooch, which had a thistle on. It had a had a shamrock on. Had a like the England, Ireland, and Scotland and Wales. It had all the different flowers on. It had diamonds or something in it. And obviously Andrew was moving, and obviously he had it wrapped up in tissue, left on the side, and obviously his wife has went and chucked it out in the bin, hasn't she? He's devastated.
Oof.
I say, and from now on, he doesn't keep nothing in tissue on his windowsill.
Scotty, are you in your bedroom or downstairs?
I'm in the dining room.
Ah, right, that's okay. Then I thought, is that his bedroom with the Jägermeister in it? I can see everything.
Dining room.
That bottle's bigger than you, by the way.
Oh, charming. Well, it's not hard.
So anyway, if anybody, by the way, has any questions for Scotty about himself, about Detectorcon, or about North of Tyne Metal Detecting Group, please put them in the comments, and either Luke will pop them up on screen if I miss them, or I'll read them out to Scott anyway. So please keep them coming throughout the evening. That would be fantastic. Anyway, we're going to have a short break now. A few minutes break while I go and do whatever I do, and Scotty goes and does whatever he does, and Luke rolls the credits.
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Sorry ass DJ.
I think this is what people or a toy shop. A little bit too about the situation. I think whatever you actually been involved
And we're back. And while we've been away, I've been frantically trying to find something that I thought I'd done and I forgot. So that'll be done tomorrow. I'm not telling you what it is. And I've texted Luke to remind him too. So, Scotty, we're back. Are you well?
Hello. Obviously, I've just been looking through the comments, and obviously, there's people asking if they can buy tickets. Yes, you can still buy tickets. Obviously, the date's been changed on the tickets. If you just go to www.northofthetyne.detecting.co.uk, obviously that's our website. All the information on there is correct. We need to change the date of the event which is happening, which we're busy working on it at the moment.
Which I'm sure Luke's going to pull up momentarily. See, look at that. Is it by magic? So this is your website. If you just go onto here, Luke, Scotty, and where do you go? On to Detectorcon Rally?
Yep. And if you go to, it'll come up, Detectorcon Rally, about Detectorcon, and then it's got tickets. If you click tickets, and then it'll tell you the prices of the tickets, and then if you click at the top in yellow writing, click out to purchase your tickets, click that, it'll take you to a page called Envirobright, and then you purchase your ticket through there.
Fantastic. Simplicity at its finest. Over in the questions. Oh, Sky's here. Sky, we were just talking about you and said we haven't seen you for a while. So Sky's in the house. Steve Pettican asks, what detector are you currently using, Scotty?
I've got the Equinox 800 at the moment. I've also the youngin won a Vanquish 340 as well. So I'm still wanting to get out to try that, but I've had a bit of family problems lately, so obviously I haven't been out for a while.
Yes, you've had an appalling month or so. As those who know, you know. So, and obviously then Detectorcon comes along and you've had to deal with that too. Are you back at work? Are you back trading yet, Scott?
No, I'm not, no.
Well, what outcome have you seen of that? How long do you think you'll be till you start back at your business again?
Don't know. When I feel physically right, to be honest.
Yeah. Physically and mentally, obviously. So
yeah, that's it.
Aye. So we've got another wee article that was published in the very, very first Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine printed edition for Detectable 2018. And it was fantastic for us because we were able to work on the first magazine. Luke, I'm going to share the screen. And you got front page. How did that happen? There we are. Scotty B's rare Newark siege shilling with all the details on the Portable Antiquities Scheme database. So tell us about this then, Scotty.
Obviously, I just started out metal detecting. Well, I've always wanted a metal detect. And I didn't know my friends did metal detecting. And obviously, we got talking, and then they were going, oh, we're metal detecting on the beach. And when you go metal detecting, they were like, yeah, we've been metal detecting for over 2 years now. I was like, oh, can I come? And I think it was, he had some white machine anyway. And I had a go, and I was on the beach, obviously, metal detecting. And I come across a gold egg, and I was over the moon. Obviously, it was around the Easter time. And following day, went on to his permission. It wasn't the following day, sorry. It was about 2 weeks later. Went on to his permission, and I purchased myself a Marco Racer, the first one. And obviously, we were under the permission, detecting away. And I find this, obviously, silver triangle object. I hadn't got a clue. Just started out metal detecting. I'm shouting, hey, I found a stamp. I found a stamp, thinking it was a stamp, and then realised it's metal. Stamps are not metal. And then obviously when I get home, I gives it a little clean and a bit of water and a bit soap. Did a bit of research online, and it turned out to be in York Siege shilling, and it was my first ever hammered coin I ever found.
Yeah.
And I hadn't found a hammered coin for about 2 years previous to the York Siege shilling, until I went to Spring Detectiveville when we found the hoard.
Yeah, which we'll talk about in a wee while. So it states here that the Silver Siege coin struck in Newark, dated to 1645-46, lozenge shape and weighs 5.13 grams. A post-medieval silver siege piece struck at Newark. The coin is lozenge shape. The obverse depicts a crown flanked from left. So lovely little piece.
And the history of the New York siege shilling, if anybody would like to hear, what it is back in the day, back in 1646, there was a siege war, and Newark, obviously the mints weren't producing any coins, so Newark, what they decided to do was to get silverware, i.e. cups, plates, bowls, and cut out lozenge shapes and weigh them of around about between 5.5 and 6.8 grams of silver, and they stamped them themselves, and obviously that was their currency for that town, and nowhere else had them. That's why it's called New York siege shilling.
Where in the country did you find that?
I found that up near where I live. Literally, I would say not even 5 minutes away from Newcastle Airport.
So it's quite a distance as the crow flies to actual Newark itself.
Yeah, what it is obviously I've done a bit more research, and this is my theory. It might not be right, but it's my theory. A lot of Scottish soldiers travelled from Scotland down to Newark when they were having a siege war. And my theory is obviously one of the soldiers obviously had one, kept it as a souvenir to take back home. And obviously on the way they stopped, camped out, obviously got drunk, lost his piece, couldn't find it. And then obviously when I come along and we come across it.
Lucky Scotty. Now, you also had another fairly interesting find on a beach as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, obviously that was the same roughly around the time I just started on metal detecting. But went to Whitley Bay Lighthouse. There was just the beach before you go over the walkway on the left-hand side. Detecting a couple of hours, and we comes across this hand. When my friend come across this hand, and he gives us a shout over, and we're looking at it, and we're like, can't be. And we're like, well, it's got nails, it looks like it's got hairs coming off it, and can't be. And obviously, we were a bit dubious of what it could be, and it sort of felt sick and stuff. So what we've done is phoned the police. Obviously, the police come. The police are like, oh, yes, this looks like to be a human hand. Obviously, they phoned the cordon off the full beach, phones forensics. They come, done what they would have to do, and then obviously they say to us they will be back in touch with the results of what it was. But obviously they did not ever get back to her and to let her know exactly what it was. So to this day, it could either be human or it could have been part of a seal. Who knows? Wow.
To be honest, Scotty, I thought that had actually been the forensics actually got back in touch with her and said it was a seal. But if it's still out there, that's quite profound, really.
Obviously, it made the Newcastle Chronicle paper as well. That's the local paper in Newcastle. They've had, I don't know where they got the story and the details from. I'm guessing off the police, but they put in saying it was a seal's flipper or whatever. But like I say, the police never got back to us. So, but you know what papers are like anyway. So
yeah. That's a mad story nonetheless. I bet you were a bit shell-shocked that day.
I was. I felt sick. And to be honest, to this day, I haven't even been back to that beach.
I think you need to and break the chain.
I do. Yeah, because
you might find the missing ring off the hand. Oh, and Scotty's gone dead. Or is it just me? Oh, it is just me. It's Scotty. So Scotty's stalled for the time being. So while Scotty's not around, we'll move on a little bit and discuss the coming weeks or two's guests. So we've actually got the next 4 weeks' guests are lined up. Next week, a gentleman I interviewed on the podcast a while ago, Mr. Steve Tomlinson, will be coming on next week. He's a mudlarker. And if I remember correctly, he found a full Roman pot whilst mudlarking down London way. I think he actually doesn't live in London, but he's on the Thames anyway. Steve's also now trained to become an archaeologist, so it'll be interesting to learn all about what Steve's been up to since we last spoke. The following week, we have Mr. Tommy Wood coming on. Now, I don't think many people know Tommy Wood, but if you pop on over to Cheshire Metal Detecting on YouTube, you'll see more of Tommy and one of his recent YouTube videos, which was about green waste. And that's what we're going to be talking about, green waste and his findings. And obviously, I've been privy to some information as well. So we're going to be talking at length about that. The week after that, Mr. Chris Bailey from the newly released this week, Digger's Dips, I'll get that in a minute, which is a prize draw page charity. You know, there's money going to charity. Nobody seems to be making a penny out of it in any way, shape or form. I will be discussing that in length, but I have signed up and I've had a little look, and there's lots of different things going on in there. Metal Detecting Group, I've got stuff, prize draw on there and what have you. So have a look over that if you're interested. That's a website. I think they're looking at an app in the future. And we arranged this today. Craig Hearn from Celtic Stag Metal Detecting Group will be on in 4 weeks' time. So as I say, we've got the next 4 weeks lined up. Looking forward to them greatly. And we have Scotty back. Hello, Scotty.
Sorry about that. My mum was ringing us.
Madness. All this stalling and technology. Yeah, where were we? We spoke about the hand and you.
Oh yeah. As I was saying about the hand, prior to finding the hand, there was a big storm on the beach a week before that, so that's why we went down to the beach to do a bit of metal detecting. Obviously, we found the hand, and then about another month later, there was another big storm, and the archaeologists found some medieval graves right nearby where we found the hand.
Wow, so that obviously could be the explanation straight away.
Yeah,
very interesting. I wonder if the police report actually tied up with the archaeologists and the forensics and all that, and see what they come to conclusions there, because obviously that could be very interesting.
We are lost. We don't know exactly what it was. They didn't tell us. So, but it was.
And that was Whitley Bay, did you say?
Yeah, it was Whitley Bay. Yeah.
Do you know, Scotty, it's an area of the country, and I've been all over the place for many years because my parents' holidays when I was a kid was caravanning. So we went all over the UK, and the northeast is somewhere I haven't really spent much time at all. I've been up as far. I lived in Penrith for a short period of time, which is just across. And as I say, I came... Pardon?
You can't cope with a cold.
Obviously, I said I drove back once just so I could see. Actually, I drove up to the point of Lindisfarne as well, just so I could see Lindisfarne. But tide was in, so I wasn't able to go over. And there was one other time I actually went to Newcastle when I was an industrial cleaner, and me and an old pal of mine, who's sadly not with us anymore, we drove up to do a job in Newcastle, all the way from Ellesmere Port. And it was the first and only time I've seen St. James's Park, and I was absolutely gobsmacked that it is right in the city centre. It was absolutely amazing, brilliant to behold.
Yeah, but like I say, I only live literally 10 minutes from St. James's.
Oh, here we go with that newspaper report. You live, say, 10 minutes away from St. James. I think we went over the river, so is that Gatesheadish area, that side?
If you went over the river, that's gated. They say that's Newcastle. It's not. It's on the opposite side of the water. Yeah. It's not Newcastle.
We went over the other side of the water. We went to some... I can't remember. It was an industrial site anyway.
Davis Park in not Sunderland.
No, definitely. We went through Newcastle, past the ground, because I actually stopped in Newcastle on the way back to get some money. Anyway, Luke's pulled up the newspaper article of the find of the hand. The one that you were on about, the Newcastle newspaper. The video sadly not playing, but as you can see, that is the hand there, Scotty.
I can't see nothing, but I
can't.
believe it.
It looks very handy to me, anyway.
I bet it does.
That doesn't seem to be. Paul said at first, he's pulled it off. Anyway, there you go. It does look like a hand. And not a seal, in my uneducated opinion. But
I'll do later on this evening, I'll post some pictures up of it on the Big Metal Detecting Podcast Facebook group.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that, and I'm sure the viewers will as well. Madness. We've heard of, obviously, archaeologists and metal detectors finding graves and what have you, but when you just metal detect on a beach and find a hand, that's that's wow. It really, really is. So, what other main artifacts have you personally found in your several years detecting?
Found a Bronze Age sword.
Wow, I didn't know about that one. Tell me about that.
Well, that was basically found by, well, a couple of them found it. It was on a group dig, and a man goes by the name Terence White. He found a Bronze Age axe head, and which he thought was a dagger and part of a Bronze Age pot rim. And obviously we got looking and talking, and I turned around and says, "That's not a dagger, that's part of a sword." So we went back the following day. Obviously Terence couldn't make it, and we found the rest of the sword. And obviously we got the archaeologists out and stuff, and they went a lot deeper. We obviously removed the sword, and it turned out to be round about, I would say, about maybe 4 foot all in tall.
Do you know your hands were actually thinner than the view we've got of you, because you're not on landscape, you're on direct. Your hands went thin. It was about your size then.
No, it was littler than this.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's automatic. Please don't take offence.
Around about 3-4 foot long.
Yeah. So obviously, no, I won't go there.
And obviously, I just found bits and bobs, but when I go out metal detecting, I like talking to people and helping other people out and seeing what they find. So yeah, I do find bits and bobs myself, obviously, but I'd rather show my expertise, what I know, to other people, and get them into the hobby. It's what I like to do.
Yeah. It was Scotty. You also, I think we ran a competition on the Facebook page. It was either that or the relaunch of the website a couple of years ago now, and you actually shockingly won Macro Racer 2 off us as well, if I'm right.
It was the multi cruiser.
Sorry, the multi cruiser.
Yeah.
How did that turn out for you?
I didn't like it. I was sick of digging coke with me racer what I had, and with this was just even worse. And I just got rid of it and got the Equinox.
There's a question come up from the Reality of Metal Detecting UK Dirt Fishing and the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and it's not me. Asked Scotty about the time he got a new permission and posted a map of it, including full location.
Yes, I can remember that one. That didn't go down well.
But overall, the area that you live in, let's go from 50 miles south, 50 miles west, 50 miles north. It's a fantastic and abundant area for history.
Oh, it is. Like I say, we're very lucky up this way with the history we've got. But to be honest, yes, we're rich in the Romans, but yeah, we do find Roman artifacts, but not as much as what we would do down south, because basically up here they were just fortified and living up here. The one trading up the north, they always went down south to trade into the markets and stuff. So that's how they come across more coins and more brooches and different objects like that.
I'm just searching for something on Facebook. People will know what I'm on about, but there it is. It was Series 17, the bridge over the River Tees in Piercebridge, County Durham. So it's not particularly far from you, but if I remember correctly, there's some people have been working within that area, underwater, scuba diving, pulling out hundreds of Roman artifacts for such a long time. It was untrue. And obviously, Time Team went there as well, and they were pulling out things like shells. So it is an abundant area for especially Roman finds then.
Yeah, it is. Like I say, obviously, Durham is about an hour's drive from us. But Durham is so rich in Roman activity, it's unbelievable. There's a lot of land in Durham. It's hard to get because it's all protected.
Mm.
And obviously, when it's protected, you're not allowed to detect on it. So it's really hard to get permission over there. And if you have got permission over there, it's basically old. Most of it's mostly old pits, obviously, from when they used to dig the coal and all that back in the day. But all the rich, good areas where you would love to go, it's just like I say, it's all protected.
Mm. MS Detectorist says, I'm in Lincoln, so still good stuff to be found. Absolutely. Again, Lincoln's an area that I'd love to go. My auntie lived there. My uncle was in the Air Force, so he was at RAF Scampton and another base over there for a period of time. So we used to go over and visit quite a lot when I was a kid. They actually lived opposite Tattershall Castle, which I've seen, obviously, on TV and whatnot in the future. It's an area that I'd love to actually personally metal detect over in Lincoln. There was one or two events last year, but I wasn't able to get there through work, sadly. But MSD, that's Cranwell that he's in. I've not heard of that, but yeah, really must be. And what a flat place. I've never been anywhere as flat.
It was Lincoln.
Yeah. Last time I went there, I was that way. We was working away. Same person as I was working with in Newcastle, and we ended up staying in Boston. And it was good for me because I used to work at Butlins in Pwllheli, so I met up with two people I used to work with there. So a lot of good memories over that side of the world.
I've never ever been to Butlins.
Yeah, we'll talk off air about that, Scotty. People
I haven't.
No, I'll tell you stories off air. Sky's listening. We don't want to.
All right.
Won't go there. Good evening to Dominic Tomczyk. I always pronounce your name wrong. I do apologise. I try my hardest in work, learning Polish off the Poles, and I've got there some way. I haven't been there for a while, so I've forgot it all now. So what's next, Scotty? What's next in the north of Tyne, and obviously after the COVID-19?
Obviously, with Detectorcon being cancelled, what me and Andy, obviously the one who helps us run the group, have decided once it's safe enough and once the rules and regulations have been changed by the government and we're allowed, we're thinking about holding a small weekend dig. Obviously, this time there won't be no marquees or live bands or as such, but we'll have brand new land. Obviously, we'll have a fire. You can bring your own food, your own beers, and we'll basically have a mini weekend for anybody who would like to turn up once it's safe to do so.
Fantastic. Just in the group, Rob Random, hello, good evening, and Kieran Stores. Kieran, I'm hoping to get yourself and Kirst on the show in the coming weeks. I'll speak to you in the near future about that. From Find a Field Metal Detecting Group, who I can say are a fantastic group because I've been out with them one or two times, and I can't wait for them to start bringing things back when we're allowed. Anything else to add tonight, matey? Oh, I'll tell you one thing you can do before you go any further. Stand up and give us a twirl.
Oh, really?
You've got to. And now explain to the viewers all about the T-shirt.
Basically, obviously, the T-shirt is a prototype of what we were going to have at Detectorcon by Goldsy, which is a French company who are specialised in, obviously, gold panning, obviously, off-road adventures of metal detecting and gold panning and different things like that. They were going to build, obviously, make with T-shirts, but they were going to be slightly different to this. They were going to be all black. Obviously, the back logo would have staff on, and it would have said Detectorcon 2020 in green, luminous green. And then obviously you've got your badge here with North of the Tyne detecting on. But obviously this has been scrapped now, so I thought I'll wear it.
And what you've got on your head needs to be put on the post through the post to me as well.
Believe it or not, it's the only one that's ever made.
Well, you're going to have to send it over to me then, because I need it for the show, obviously. You've seen what happens when my head pixelates.
It disappears. But obviously, just a little bit more about Detectorcon. Obviously, we're going to have live bands singing the Friday night and Saturday night. And and they're well known from all over the world. They're really, really popular band of country folk music. Obviously, we've got the bar. There's going to be 2 bars. There'll be an outdoor bar and an indoor bar. We're going to have a big custom fire pit, courtesy of Scott, my friend, Scott Thompson. He's going to make it from our own logo. And obviously, we're going to have organic meats as well. Obviously, the caterer who's coming basically lives over from where Detectorcon is, and all the meat will be eaten that weekend will be brought up, on that land, and it eats everything on that land as well. So it's all organic and free range.
Sounds fantastic. And what companies, what other metal detecting related companies were going to be there?
The companies which are going to be there, obviously, we've got I can't really remember. Obviously, we're going to have Goldsy will be there. We'll have the Big Metal Detecting podcast will be there. We've got Crowford's Metal Detecting will be there. Treasure Hunting magazine will be there. The Archaeologist Metal Detecting magazine will be there. We've got Red Bins, and then obviously the Marquee through Walton Marquee here. We've got Rootis. We've got the NCMD is going to be there. We've got the Disco Core Northeast. We've got the Composite Cleaning Pencils. We've got the Pizza Paddock, the Crafty Gin Company, and the Keela Organic Meat. And obviously there's a lot more. We just obviously haven't updated with lists of who wants to come in, who's going to be there.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. And we'll obviously, when it does take place, we will be hopefully broadcasting live as well, like we did at Detectival last year and Detectorcon as well. Sorry, your Detectorcon. Rodney Cook Memorial Rally, which obviously we now are all hoping the September events will be taking place. Yeah,
definitely. Hopefully, like I say, everything will go ahead for September and everything's back sort of safe, and it will be good to get out on a rally this year because I've not been on one yet.
Mm. Do you know, I was watching last night's program, George Osborne's Small Spaces or whatever it's called. The like redesigning houses and creating small spaces. And I've seen something that I need to do, Scotty. He took some bloke took a Robin Reliant, stripped out the interior, stripped out the engine, put a mount on the front to stick on the back of your car, towing hitch, and turned it into a mini camper van. And it was absolutely, and that's what I want now. I want a Robin Reliant and turn it into a camper van.
It might be all right for me, but I don't know about you, Dave.
No, honestly, George Osborne got in it and tried it. He was a little bit scrunched, but this guy actually had built a working kitchen in the back. So the back foot of the car, or foot and a half, 2 foot, was actually this contraption where he pulled up and he had the sink and the oven and what on there, and it was blocked off behind it. But he took the engine out, so he actually went under the dashboard as well. So
that's canny. Sounds good.
That's what I want. That's my next product. That's when I stop breaking things and making rubbish things out of pallets. I'm back at work Monday. I won't be as bored. The pallet stripping will stop.
And obviously, at Detectorcon as well, we'll have dealers there as well. Obviously, selling artifacts and coins and different things like that. So it's going to be a lot of activity for first rally. Obviously, there's no electricity, but the raised water, there will be water. You can get washed and stuff in. So it's just obviously it's going to be good. Detectorcon, I just can't wait to happen. Obviously, pity about this year, I suppose. But
yeah. What about generators? Will it be all right for people to bring portable generators?
Unfortunately, if you're camping, I'll have to look into that one. But there's not allowed no open fires and nothing if you're camping. You're allowed a small barbecue, obviously raised off the ground. But if you're wanting to bring a generator, then I'll have to look into that.
Marvellous. It's just obviously we'll have all the laptops and we'll have everything on the go. So it would obviously
store holders. Obviously they've been sent. I don't know. I think you might have filled one and sent it back. To be honest, Dave. But they got sent basically a form, obviously, to fill in, and on that form it does say that if you've got a generator, you're allowed to bring it with being a store holder, but you've got to provide your own fire extinguisher as well.
Right, yeah, I'm with you. Brilliant. That'll do us great, obviously, because with everything we have to do, with this being an audio-visual media-related thing as well, that we obviously want to put things, we want to keep people updated, we want to keep everybody knowledge of what's going on at Detectorcon, and we also need to, produce a show where we're actually interviewing yourself, other stall holders, and people throughout the day as well, because it will be a big event.
Yeah, and obviously we will have a big generator, and we've also got floodlights as well, obviously, to light up your pathways to get back to your tents. And obviously there's separate parking as well, obviously, so there's no cars interfering with people camping, and sort of like that's all planned out properly. There's one way in, one way out. Gates get shut at 7 o'clock at night. But obviously the gates are going to be manned all night. So basically, there's going to be staff running 24
So who's
hours.
going to draw the night? I hope you're getting Katrina on the night shift.
No, that's already sorted. Andy's doing a night shift. Scott will probably do a night shift.
I'll stay up all day metal detecting. Dominic Tomschick says I pronounced his name right. Results. I'm happy with that. So yeah, a lot of people saying, what about bogs? You're going to have all the toilets and whatnot there as well, obviously.
We were originally going to get the really, really good posh toilets, with obviously flush it and stuff. But with the amount of people's coming, there wasn't enough of them to hire. So what we've had to do is obviously order portaloos. So there will be portaloos available. Obviously, there'll be enough for everyone to go around.
Even me.
Yeah, what's that, bro?
Even me.
There is, But yeah, there's obviously there's toilet faculties, there's obviously cleaning faculties, obviously your food and whatever else. It's like I say, it's going to be a rally, a big rally.
Rob Random has actually made a very, very good point. With COVID, one of the main things that's going to change on events like this is toilets. Obviously the cleaning, the people using them, the antibacterial, all that. It's something very, very intriguing, actually.
Obviously with Detectorcon, which we're going to go along this year, obviously until the rules haven't changed. If the rules had changed, what we would have done is we would have shortened the rally event to only, at the moment, we've got 420 spaces. We would have shortened that by half to only about 200. Each tent would have been separated by 6 foot each. And then obviously your toilets would have been disinfected and cleaned every few hours, would have been cleaned. There would have been cleaning stations dotted all over, hand sanitizer, and things like that. Obviously, by next year, we're hoping that everything's sort of settled, but yes, there's COVID still going to be out there. So there will be cleaning stations for people to wash their hands with hand sanitizers. Obviously, toilets, there'll be hand sanitizer in there. So just to be safe, even though they will be cleaned, there's hand sanitizer there if you want to wipe the toilet seat with that and obviously clean the germs, etc., etc.
Jet Ski John, he's just come on and said, I take it's going ahead. Sadly not, John. It's been cancelled, obviously, due to everything, as well as Detectable, which was cancelled officially this week. So you'll look forward to that. So you'll have to go to next year's event, which will be July next year. That's been confirmed. So
23rd.
Looking forward to that greatly. And it'd be nice to go north instead of south as well. Go uphill instead of downhill. It'd be faster coming home.
The weather stays up and good.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, I think that's it for tonight. Obviously, I can't thank you more than enough for coming on, discussing Detectorcon, the hand on the beach, the hoods for North of Tyne metal detecting. Anything else to add before we go?
Yeah, just one more thing. Like I say, get them tickets bought. You can go on North of Tyne Detecting website and order a ticket through there because they are starting to sell fast. There's been a few returns, and obviously them tickets went back onto sale, so they are starting to sell out. So if you don't want to miss out, get there and get them bought as soon as possible. I would say.
Fantastic, and obviously, Scotty, I hope to see you sooner rather than later. I hope to see you, if not before, at Rodney Cook or Detectable.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be at both of them, so whatever comes first.
Fantastic. Well, as I said before, next week's guest, we've got Steve Tomlinson, mudlarker and archaeologist, coming on the show. He's the chap that found a more or less complete Roman pot in the River Thames last year. So he'll be coming on, and since then he has become an archaeologist as well. So we're going to learn a lot more from him about what he's been up to. I'll have to speak to him a week to prepare, and I look forward to that greatly. Scotty, love you, mate.
No, but thank you for having us on, and good night all.
Thanks for coming on, Scott. It's been a pleasure as ever. Thank you to all and sundry in the chat room tonight, everyone who's been watching, and everybody who watches this in the future. I'm Dave Sadler. That's Luke Higgins behind the scene. We are the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine editors. This is the Big Metal Detecting Show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. See you next week, and good night.